What's up, everybody? This is your girl Ericka from the Classy Climb blog, coming to you tonight. Uh, Talking about somebody asked, should we continue to wait? Yes, you should. This is Ericka Williams, Classy Climb blog. Again, notifications. I'm literally 10 minutes late. Relax, relax. YouTube allows you to sit on the couch, watch a person talk, and live your best life. Relax. Okay, so here we go. Long and story short, my name is Ericka Williams of the Classy Climb blog, author of The Smartphone Millionaire, How to Invest in People, Businesses, and Real Estate from the Palm of Your Hand. Tonight's show is talking about debt freedom does not equal wealth. There is a misconception in many communities, including ours, that, hey, I just got to get all these bills paid off. I just got to get these bills paid off. 1 + 1 = 10,000. I just got to get these bills paid off. And I meet people who are 50, 60, 70, 22 years old talking about, if I just can get debt free. Ericka, almost filed for bankruptcy because I just need to be debt free. And what's happening here, we've talked about this a lot, that people, we survey people, we talk to people. This is an actual poll from 2021. Once they started surveying African Americans, a lot of them had the same thing. They wanted, the question some of them people asked was about race, but about race, some was about money, and about the treatment from police officers and reports of people being mistreated. And listen, go check this out. Go check this out. I want you to definitely check it out. But now, what else did they learn in this survey? They learned from a lot of this stuff, what people thought about what kind of opportunities they had in America, where they were going. Now, this isn't an original topic. Listen, I'm actually getting this from, it was a viral clip on Instagram, but it brought up from Budgetnisa, Tiffany. Actually, I'm saying her name wrong. Debt freedom doesn't equal wealth. This is a big thing for people. Yeah, I'm going to get my credit score up. I said, man, what you going to do? You got some new lines? No, I'm paying all my debt off. So again, children are debt free. Sometimes you meet elderly, they're debt free. But don't they keep sending your home tax bill for the year? Don't they keep sending you insurance bills? Don't they keep sending you medication bills? Don't you keep having to pay for your car to be inspected? Now, many states have done a great job in letting the elderly, aka people over 65, you don't have to consider yourself that. It's up to you. They've been doing great strides in allowing these people to get deductions, home exemption tax, homestead exemptions here in Texas, no property tax up to $40,000. Asia's talked about it here on the channel. Hold on one second, Lord. Y'all, we got so many phones in this house. Feel like my old granny. Got so many phones in this house ringing all the time. Okay, so long story short, a lot of these people have exemptions, opportunities for them not to have to pay. Asia in Detroit talked about how once her mother turned a certain age and retired, she never had to pay property tax again. As long as the house stays in her name or within her family, good to go. So that's part of that. So sorry, getting a lot of text messages. But listen, why did I bring this up? Because you guys watch this channel, you see me talk about credit, and people say, well, I'm just gonna pay all my debt off. You see me talk about home ownership. Well, a mortgage is just debt. And so I think a lot of people, we need to address this. This is a very much a misconception. And this is like, even when I meet business owners who are like, I built my business up from scratch. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I go, congratulations. But now when the COVID-19 happens, when a truck breaks down, when a house catches on fire, when other stuff happens, are you using credit? Okay. Are you using your own with savings? They've done countless surveys showing that Black business owners have like 2 accounts. They got cash and they got their home. So now you're at this point where you're going to get locked Well, what if you don't have that 5 or 10K set aside for you to pay for a repair for your home? This is why we have this whole cycle of people going through wholesalers because they didn't let grandma's house fall into such disrepair because, they would just fix things as they could go. They patch here and there. They didn't believe in credit. They didn't believe in debt. So listen, I believe in Dave Ramsey works for people with high income. Let me say that again. I believe Dave Ramsey works for those two types of people with no discipline and those with high income. Why am I saying this? If you make it 100,000 a year, if you just control that housing budget and that car budget, the other debt is just the other debt. Let's be honest. If you guys are only making 30K a year, the average person is not getting 200,000 in credit cards. I know I'm crashing your credit dreams, but the average person who's making 30K a year doesn't have 200,000 credit cards. Now they may have 200,000 in student loan debt. That's a different discussion, but they don't have 200,000 in credit card debt because they did not get approved for that much. Now they may have got approved for a few 10K lines, maybe even lucked up and got a 20K card. Navy Federal, you know what I'm saying? But they aren't in that much debt. So this thought process of, well, if I just get debt free, well, first of all, you don't make enough money. This is truly the thing that is the crux that we will not address in our community. You don't make enough money. This is why you have these people on the internet talking about saving up all their money for the year so they can go overseas somewhere for 2 weeks and act like a baller. That's a broken system. Now, do I think America's one of the best systems we got? Heck yeah. But the problem is we don't make enough money in this system. You guys saw me do the Automation King video with Dr. Dix. 4 out of the 5 high risk of automation careers, we in them: retail, cashiers, administrative, food service. At what point do we have the conversation that just being debt free with no skills ain't gonna work either? To me, the whole debt free argument is almost elementary at this point. 5-year-old knows that you can be debt free, right? That's a very scarcity mindset. I'm just gonna be debt free. If I'm just debt free, it'll be perfect if I'm just debt free. And you're like, okay, what about reoccurring bills or reoccurring income coming in? What about that light bill that's going to be due every month? What about your groceries, right? We see people in the street screaming about groceries. Oh, Lord Jesus, the groceries. And I literally went on Facebook and there's this post that is absolutely going viral. It's like 100,000 comments. And people are like, they say, hey, people tell you to shop smarter. They don't tell you where to go. That's literally the post. People tell you to shop smarter on your budget. They don't tell you where to go. So I look at the post and I'm reading the comments and I just go, hey, some of the better places are a farmer's market, a CSA, community supported agriculture. All kind of places have great discounts on food. And then people in the tech, there are no farmer markets where I am. Every farmer market is expensive. They ain't say nothing about the CSA. They didn't say nothing about the community supported agriculture. They didn't say anything about, there's a whole, somebody may put it in the chat. It's ugly groceries. It's basically ugly fruit that's ugly, vegetables and fruit that is ugly. And so they sell it at a discount in a box and just send it to your house because so much fruit is tossed away because it's ugly. So a company made a whole business out of shipping you ugly fruit and veggies, the non-pretty ones, at like 40% off. But this is the generation of I'm going to whine and complain and cry. And if you give me, because this is what I'm telling y'all, I know y'all don't want to hear this, but this is the 100% truth. We are coming up. All these Andrew Tate folks, all these women hear me roar folks, we're coming to a time where a lot of women are going to be home. A lot of men are going to go back to blue collar. And people are like, no, Ericka, no. But it's true because the math does not support it. The math does not support a bunch of administrative assistant women. The math is not supporting a bunch of teachers. The math is not supporting a bunch of women doing work that they could easily make part-time or not do at all. I know this girl's mom who she's slightly disabled. She got in a car accident basically and got a check, but she would drive the school bus, and that's it. Drive school kids home in the morning and back in the afternoon. And that's been her gig since I was in middle school. Her mama's still doing that now. Now, one year they tried to get her mom to come in there and work the cafeteria too. Boy, she hear him played up that disabled. I'm disabled. I can't be in here with these kids serving them food. You know what I'm saying? And so you have this literally a mindset of I get a little check from the government. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna do a little work, just a little bit. And I'm just telling y'all, like that little lick, like her mom been doing that forever. I think last time I went home, her mom had a little boyfriend, had a little Mr. Old Sugar Daddy living with her. You know why? You know why? Because that little disability and driving that school bus lick is over. All her children are grown and going on with their life. You dig what I'm saying? She's might to help pay them bills in there, right? So here's the thing. I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all, but I want you to understand a lot of folks are living in this. If I'm just debt free, I will be wealthy. And that's a lie. I've told people Dave Ramsey is for you to get yourself under control. Get yourself under control. Use a budget. Get your life together. Now do something different. I'm experiencing this in our own family. We have family members. We've been like, hey, we'll send you to school. We'll send you to this. We'll get you a truck driving. We'll get you a CDL. We'll get you HVAC. We'll do everything. What can we do to make you a bit better? They'd be like, no, I don't want to do none of that. Stubbornly, I don't want to do none of that. They had a baby, a oopsie baby on accident. Now all of a sudden they're like, hey, you guys, I'm thinking about going to community college. I'm thinking about getting a trade. What do you guys think? I should do this right now. Baby, the baby's here. The baby's here. The months of you going to community college was the past 8 months. The time for you to get this new stuff was 8 months ago. The day that girl told you she was pregnant was the time for you to get started. You can't look at the baby and be like, oh, Jesus, I need to do something now. That's when people do dangerous stuff. They see them babies now, they want to join the military. Now they want to go do some crazy stuff. Listen, the low budget living, you dig what I'm saying? Like there is a tribe on YouTube and in life. Well, it's just me. And if I just have rice and beans and I have one couch in my apartment, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to be all right. Okay, what happens when you have the baby? What happens when you add a woman or man to your life? What happens when you want to do other stuff? Have you noticed these people in these van lives? All of a sudden they get a boyfriend. They like, I got to get in a place. I ain't trying to sleep with no man in no van. The mindset changes. And so for me, when I'm sitting here telling y'all this and I'm getting this pushback, I'm like, yeah, minimalism, whatever y'all want to call being in poverty at this time, because minimalism is different for everybody, apparently. It's going to have to be more than being debt free. There has to be a level of sustainability. And what we're going to have, and I know people don't want to hear this, this is ugly. I have to go here. I was sitting at a coffee shop today over at the Domain. 3 older white men. I'm talking about 55, 65. I'm talking about ARP is at their house. They were talking, and one of them was like, man, I really wish I could get on one of these shows here. So now I'm being nosy. I got my earbuds in, but I got my phone off because y'all know I'm being nosy, okay? I'm not above the nosy. And so I'm listening to him, and oh boy is an actor. But his daytime job has always been sales. And his friends are like, well, how's work going? He's like, oh man, I really thought I was gonna get that gig. And now I used up all my what do you call it, PTO or whatever. And I'm just listening, being nosy. And he's like, it's so hard, being an actor here because there's nothing but TV shows and they only want you to do a little bit. He's like, one of his coworkers said, why didn't he move to California? First of all, old boy is 60, maybe 65. He tall. He's maybe 6 foot something. But him moving to Hollywood at this age? Now, I'm not one to be a dream killer. Never that. Don't ever come to this channel like, you're a dream killer. I want old boy to fight for his dreams. The woman that's in Black Panther, that was her first movie role. She was 88 years old or 82. Somebody look it up. The old woman in Black Panther that says, what is your name? And he goes, I'm Killmonger, son of a boo-boo, blah, blah, blah. Whatever they said, right? So I'm sitting there listening to his friends look at him crazy. Like, dude, it's a little late to move to Hollywood. You just got to go on more interviews. You got to go on more You got to go on more. Sorry, I'm not laughing, but I am. Basically, you got to audition more, is what they were telling him. Like, nah, man, that's crazy talk. Just audition more. All that is here in Austin are usually TV shows. You'll be an extra. I have a friend, she went to LA, she went back to North Carolina. She acted more in North Carolina than she did in LA. She was in movies, she was in theater, she's a production manager now. She went out to LA and she was in, what do you call it, Law and Order Sexual Eviction Unit? Yeah, Law and Order Sexual Eviction Unit and a couple other shows. But she did like 200 gigs in North Carolina. So I'm just always telling y'all, it's not where you at. It's what you're doing. It's your level of production. Nothing wrong with being an old dreamer, but you gotta. What's that level of production you doing? This goes into this debt free argument. Like if I'm debt free, everything will be magical unicorns. That's not true. What happens every time people pay off a car? They go get a new car. I've seen it with my own eyes. Oh, my car done start breaking down. No, your car ain't broke down. This car is 5 years old. It ain't broke down at all. Unless you ain't took care of it. Right? So just in that sense of we're gonna have a sea. I'm gonna just tell y'all this. We're gonna have a sea of people 40 to 50 years old. Good googly movie. They're gonna wake up. Right? Because we are in the attention seeking generation here. You get the most attention, you get a lot of money. Irv Gotti out here saying craziness. He's a freaking lame dude. Tell he ain't getting no women till he got some money. And he's still lame. Cheese doodle lame. Nelly with a band-aid on his face came and took his girlfriend. But you're gonna have a bunch of 40, 50-year-old people waking up. Oops, I may have made the wrong decision. Man, I'm way down the road on this course of life and have to do a U-turn. Now, I'm not against you having to do a U-turn at 50, 60, 70. Do what you got to do. But wouldn't it be a little bit easier if you got the right information now? If you knew that you needed reoccurring income? If you knew your 70-year-old back would not like to work like you're working now? I mean, again, I know two men right now that still work in North Carolina. One owns an HVAC company, him and his son. He tried to let his son take it over, but people don't want to work with the son. They want to work with daddy. Daddy out here with a cane, making jokes, laughing. We're like, man, what you still doing out here working? Crawling on the ground, messing with HVACs with a cane. Yeah, I got that young wife. His son is 37. His wife is 36, y'all. Now, some men out here like, yes, what's up, man? Get you that young wife. No. What's up is you going to work till you die. If you don't have a plan, if you can't pay more employees to work that HVAC company and you out here yourself with a cane, crawling on the ground, doing HVAC work and don't have no replacement, you're working till you die. And that's that whole I'm gonna be Ron Isley, 80 years old with a 50-year-old wife. Okay, Ron Isley grabbed that woman about 25 years ago when he left Angela Winsett or whatever her name is. I'm gonna treat you right, woman song. And so this thought process that, hey, we can push all this stuff off. If we just get debt free, we'll be magically rich. I just want to come out here and crush that as much as possible. Right? I want to crush it. Ericka, you're being a party pooper. I may be a party pooper, but it is what it is. The tech layoff is the automation of certain tech jobs. Boomers and older generation refuse to learn new tech skills, and now they are obsolete. This will also happen. Y'all, listen. I was out with Miss Reed. Several of y'all from the boat party stayed a couple extra days. Went to dinner with her the other day. We were talking about this. They taking people with one cert in the door, long as you willing to learn. Because they got people that have been in there 15, 20 years, hard-headed. I got a friend that's been working for IBM for 18 years. It's her only job out of college. She's like, whatever y'all want me to learn, I'll learn it. Because she don't want to go back out in the job market. They done moved her all up around that building. She's like, what other skill you want me to learn, I'll go learn it. You want me to travel, I'll travel. And that's where people going to be at. They're going to be at whatever you want me to learn, I'll go do it. Whatever job that's open, I'm going to do it. That's where people going to get. Y'all going to learn that. Cosmic Wisdom said, best thing to do is buy a deep freezer. A smaller one is even the best way to keep food costs low. This is true. This is true. A lot of people going to learn the hard way. Let me see. Cooking from scratch, it saves a lot of money. Buying a whole chicken. I bought whole chickens. It was the storm, John. The snow apocalypse here in Texas. I go to the store, all the meat's gone, all the chicken gone, all the sausage gone, all the beef gone, and I look over and guess what's left? Whole chickens. For guess what? $5. This is what, February 2022? When we hit the snow. Everybody remember Texas when we hit the snow? So I go and grab like 3 whole chickens. I said, man, hey, I know how to cut up a chicken. My mama showed me. And went on to the grocery store. The lady, I was up there and looked to my right. It was an older Latino lady going, honey, yeah. Because she was grabbing whole chickens too. And so a lot of times what people don't understand is some of this is a combination of a money problem. And some of this is a combination of a stewardship problem, right? So the math to support a single family home for every single man and woman, you're right. Yeah, the math ain't there. The math ain't there. Teachers automated. Listen, I've told y'all what I think of public schools and what they're going to become in some areas. Public school is going to be the most wonderful experience for your child to ever experience. For some of y'all, public school is going to be straight hell. You got the third generation of baby kids. They mama don't care. She not reading to them. You see the reading scores are going worse and worse. And then they want to blame the school why little boy can't read. That's your job. Under 7, that's you at home. That's your job. That's why they go into court and sue in court. And the court's like, that's not the school's job to teach your child to read. Supreme Court even backed it. That's not our job. Okay. But see, y'all keep playing. Let me see what else y'all got in here. I'm gonna go to the other article. It's over, daughter. It's the days where that goofy stuff is over. I'm gonna do bare minimum. Nah. That's a wrap. Listen, and this is. I knew this was coming. I had consistently had conversations with this kid for 3 years. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to go to school? I'll pay for it. Do you need a laptop? I'll pay for it. Do you need this? I'll pay for it. Do you want help? We'll pay for it. What do you want to do? It wasn't until this baby has popped out and now he's like, oh Lord Jesus, I need to go to community college right now. No. That's over. What job can we go get you next week? Can you go deliver packages for Amazon? Can you go hot shot trucking? What can we do for you today? Because that baby's not waiting 6, 9, 10 months. Now I'm all for you going to community college to improve yourself, but let's be really serious. This is when people start really getting their mind like, oh wait, this baby needs money today. Money today. Right? Thank you, Ray Gunn, for $2 super chat. I'm telling you, debt free and broke. But in your face, like, I'm glad. Look, you've seen the people. Let's go there. We've seen all these people go, I don't got no student loans. I'm better than all these people. I ain't got no student loans. Jeff, you also don't have shit. You've been in the same hometown doing bare minimum jobs. You don't own your home. You don't own the current car you got. You're driving a Dodge Charger, and then you're like, well, I'm glad I ain't got them student loans. Well, sure, you're debt free in the terms of you don't have that student loan debt, but your life doesn't have what it needs. So when people argue with me about the debt free, I'm like, okay, sure, right? Okay, sure, right? What is the first thing that people do that call Dave Ramsey after they become debt free? They never even talk to them about investing. Mr. Money Mustache was a big proponent of the whole be debt free thing, but Mr. Money Mustache has one kid. He was an engineer, and his wife was also a high paid person. See, y'all not reading the backstories on these people that's marketing this stuff to you. Yep, Ramsey's great for that. Let me see here. Georgia, North Carolina. Yeah, North Carolina's been filming movies for 50 years. It wasn't until we cut our tax credits that them companies said, oh, we ain't got to stay here in Wilmington. We'll bounce. I mean, every movie you could, for the last 20 years, anything related to like North Carolina, South Carolina, swamp-ish has been in North Carolina. Now, lately, New Orleans put a bunch of credits in and people start going down there. But overall, it's been North Carolina. They're actually Gen X. 41 and up, 41 to 55 is a Gen Xer. So, you know what I mean? It is very important. Irv Gotti's bananas. Nelly with a Band-Aid on his face. It's ridiculous. This is true. We need to be honest. These 40 or 50-year-olds burn bridges and they are a public menace. Let's just really go there. The reason you have this massive push of people, van life and, oh, I'm going to move to Florida. I'm going to retire. I'm going to relocate and all this stuff is because they did not plan. They're hoping to relocate last minute to as a ditch effort to lower their cost of living. That's what it is. How is technology advancing? You can't be average. There are about to be millions of 40 people, 40 years old, making 40K a year. This is true. This is true. Yeah, that's true. AI said, let me see. Thank you, Dr. Rich, for a super chat. Right here, technology has moved rapid speed from 2010 to 2020. It came out in 2012 and it ended everything. Facts. I laugh at this. 10K is a joke. The average person's student loan debt is 50,000. It used to be 20,000. That was the average, was 20,000. 20,000, you could get a part-time job for a year and take that $1,000 plus check you got to that part-time job and put it to your student loan debt and be out of debt in a year and a half. That's if you got subsidized loans. If you got these private money loans, these things they're going to put interest on, these loans that basically said you're paying for a college you don't need to be at, they'll have interest. But majority of y'all could have worked an extra job for a year and paid off that loan. Now that student loans are kind of hovering around 40,000, 50,000, somebody taking 10K off and your ass still ain't going to pay that loan, it don't matter. It don't matter. It really don't. People like, well, I shouldn't have paid my loans off. Baby, go on about your life. I know a lady worked for IBM for 37. Listen, my friend is going to be one of them. I know one other lady. She's been working at this government job here in Austin for 20 years. She waiting on the other person to retire and she going to take her spot. And I'm like, hell no. I get job security, but hell no. Oh no. You know what I mean? So, hold on. Why is people blowing me up while I'm on the show? What they want? I already done texted them. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, it's really the mindsets. The mindsets. Yeah, February 2021. Yeah, it was $5 chicken. It's $5 chicken at the HEB. I just sauteed. I just said sauteed from Will and I's garden. This Texas rain has been a blessing. Congratulations, Austin Rich. Austin Rich and Will have like a garden / Airbnb cabin situation. They ain't invited me yet, but they better get to inviting me. But I'm telling you, look at the move. There's several books y'all can go. I've talked about them in the past. I'll bring them up on another channel, another later night or something like that. But literally, people started moving further and further out. No worries. I'll just keep moving further out. My husband can work remote. No worries. We'll move further out. If that wife had to go to work, she like, you can move me an hour out in the country. I don't care. And so like Will and them is what a lot of people near Yellowstone started doing. They got a little bit of farm. They got a few cabins that they rent out to people that are basically going to Yellowstone. And the cabin money pays off their other bills. And they get to live very well. So I'm telling you. How to be debt free if you want to buy land and a house. So, Bob, a big thing about that. That's just, when people say, man, I want to own rental properties, I want to do this stuff. You could buy a land lot in some of these neighborhoods for 10K, some further out, 20K, 30K, and build the house from the ground up. That's a conversation that's not being had enough. But if you go on YouTube, there's several people who've been building from the ground up. They've been doing it for a while now. You know what I mean? So again, it depends on where your mindset's at. Most people lack life skills. I'd agree with that. Meat theft. Oh, honey, I know they stealing meat everywhere. Listen, every time I watch those videos, like, I don't wash my meat. I don't know why you guys are washing chicken. I said, because I know people that work in the factory and they wash their chicken. So that's why. Yep. Baltimore got lots of baby kids running around body slamming teachers. Let me tell you something. Your kid, Let me tell you something. Your kid touched me. And these kids, I got a nephew that's 16 years old, 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. I'm going to body slam him back. But we going to tussle, baby. Your kid not getting no like, he's 15, be nice. I'm a body slam you. I'd love you to react to this video called Dallas, the home of the rich and the poor. Send me the link. Email it to admin at Classy Climbers. We'll look at it. Y'all got till Friday. Friday, we out of here, baby. Look, Nicole Reese said, I found out they don't teach spelling in school. That's what I'm telling y'all. These people out here dropping these little baby kids off, not realizing we don't have time to teach your kid how to spell their own damn name. That's what you're there for. It's your kid. You done made up this fake ass name. You teach them how to spell it. It's getting stupid out here. These are majority schools. Angela, this is a majority of schools. Majority. They cut a lot of stuff out of the programs. That's their favorite pastime. Ericka out here crushing dreams tonight. I'm still gonna drop my mixtape, Got Drip. Listen, you're gonna have a lot of people wake up at 50 and be like, damn, the mixtapes didn't hit. The music didn't hit. The Lambo rent didn't hit. The putting chicks on top of the car pictures didn't hit. Now what am I do? You got a good 25 years if you didn't take care of your body. Maybe less. It's one of those things. Debt free personally is nothing, but debt free business is a major opportunity for funding. Yes, disagree. Savings minus debt. Look at the calculator. Facts. I'm in Ohio. I was shocked. I asked around and found out they haven't been teaching spelling in years. State tests don't even take off points for misspelling. Thank you. People don't believe it. She said Herb Golly looked like a human thumb. Y'all is wow. I'm reading y'all comments. I need to be back focused. Okay, so back on this article. Anyway, y'all can come look at this. But essentially, a lot of this, how do you feel about police? Do you feel safe in your neighborhoods? What do you think about this? Go look at this stuff. I'm not surprised. Depending on who they met, who they interviewed, I'm not surprised. But I've been telling y'all for a long time, 52% of all Black people live in the rural areas and the suburbs for the past at least 60 years. A lot of us, you just live all in the country. Now we live in a mixture, but a lot of this stuff you seeing, you ask the people, the Black folks in the suburbs and the country, they're like, what you talking about? They even ask people what they felt about the Juneteenth. At the end of the day, a lot of folks are walking around like zombies. So here's another one again. That's her talking about debt freedom. Again, I want to give her her props, but I really want y'all to understand this recession. If it did not teach you to invest, to have somewhere where your money is working for you, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, right? Because a lot of the stuff you guys have can be done in 5 years. I think she said in her video she did on Instagram. See if I can go to her Instagram from here. In the video, she was saying how she didn't pay her student loans debt for 5 years or something to that effect. And what she ended up doing is investing it back in her business. And then she was able to write a lump sum check from her business. Now, y'all know I'm going to promote business, but not everybody going to do business. As much as I would love to promote, everybody should get to start your business, start businesses. Listen, there is a correlation between 1 in 10 Asians have a business, 1 in 34 whites, 1 in 54 Hispanics, and 1 in 108 Blacks. There is some correlation to our low job numbers with low business. But you also need to be able to run a business that can hire employees. That part, right? So what stops a lot of people is, well, I just got to get debt free, Ericka. And once I'm debt free, I'll be for whatever. Let me be very clear with you. A lot of people, let's just go there. I hate to do it, but let's go there. The strip club numbers are down. A lot of strippers making videos about the strip club being broke. A lot of people making videos about weed dispensaries losing money this year. A lot of that's been happening. So now I'm going to say this, and y'all know I'm not being a hater, but I got to be fair. Earn your leisure. Now, y'all know this is where I get real Republican, okay? getting real Republican. Now they, at the Earn Your Leisure event, the CNBC was there. Seeing who Black Americans call on Biden to address economic issues. Oh, really? Didn't we just have Donald Trump offer us $500 million in funding? Didn't we just have that? And y'all weren't paying attention? Can y'all put a one in the comments if y'all remember Ice Cube running around trying to put this economic plan out? Put a one in the comments. Right? Because what it comes down to, all that looking fly, all that women's, and men's, all that other arguments means nothing if you don't have opportunity to get good credit, if you don't have opportunity to finance a house, if you don't have opportunity to get loans on your car, if you don't have access to capital. All that other talk is just talk. So the whole, I'm going to be debt free. And guess what? So what? If you can't, because you're debt free, get access to capital, get access to buy a home, get access to buy a rental property, it's all for naught. I'm not turning this political, but I just want you to acknowledge for a second, you know what I'm saying? That these people are like, we got to talk to Biden. No, that time is a wrap. That time's a wrap. That time's a wrap. Right? It just is. That time of like, we're going to talk to Biden. He's going to give Black business owners some money. No, that's a wrap. You already seen what they got for you. A bunch of nothing. So that ain't going to work. Government begging ain't going to work. Local school, public school begging ain't going to work. Telling them to teach your children how to read ain't going to work. Right? So I want to free you from the thought process that I'm just going to be debt free. That ain't going to work, brother. What happens if you have a kid? What happens if you have life changes? What happens if you break your leg for a month? Not for a month, but for 6 months, you got a cast on, or however long you have cast. I've never had broken bones. Our family fed us good. You know what I'm saying? So again, my point in all this is a lot of the thought processes that no longer serve people in this country are hurting us so bad. Terribly bad. Like the thought that I'm gonna just be debt free and it's gonna work out. Everything's gonna work out. That's where a lot of that comes from. I can't prove it, but I'm gonna try to find some article on it. That sharecropping history. That they would be owning those sharecroppers forever. They would just own that farmer. So much money every year. They're farming and they could never get free because really it was slavery part 2. You never got over it on the share. Like they nickeled and dimed you to death. Sharecropping. You never owned the land. They could always put you out. They had the shacks down by the river. So a lot of people think if I'm debt free, I can move around and be free. That's why a lot of folks also left the city. But again, they're going places, they're moving around with no knowledge. You know what I'm saying? They're moving around with no knowledge. Knowing she really on vacation makes me want $2 million real quick. Just letting you know. Ramsey is nothing more than I can't. That's making my eyes hurt. $10K was a magic number for me. I only have 9,700 student loans. It was a small trade school. There you go. Congratulations. Congratulations. Go where you must. All right. I want to come and bring the camera for the gram. We had 30K, 40K student loans back when the rates were 3%. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, 10K, what 10K gonna do for y'all? My mama watched it. I'm watching it. You already know. There are teen, male, and female harassing and beating up 65-year-olds in the Bronx. If you a Black person in the Bronx, you ought to be strong as hell by now. You don't live through the crack epidemic. You don't live through drug wars. You know, through the 80s. You ought to be strong as an ox horse and beating kids back up. That's all I'm saying. That is delicious. Yeah. But we can't tell people that. My husband and I are debt free, own property, and also invest. In life, you have to have a plan. Facts. Facts on facts. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, passive people waiting for that UBI. They waiting on it. Please. Please. The Juneteenth. You can graduate high school in Oregon without being able to read and write now. It's because politicians think it's bad to require kids to meet standards. John, that doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. Same way, well, now that you can, if you're in Arizona and you're just going to college, you can teach at school. And they tried to blame minorities. They said, well, the minority teachers don't finish college and they want to teach. Don't blame that on us. Blame it on the fact that you don't support teachers when you want to argue about these kids getting out of there. That is not about the daycare. That your kids can't just be here for years and years and years, not getting better, not helping, not contributing. GA, he taught at high school last week. Juniors and seniors in his classes could not construct complete sentences. Let me tell you something, Anthony Russell. If you ask the parents of these kids, I bet you money their parents can't construct a sentence either. I'm going to just tell you off rip. The quality of people that are sending their kids to public school is low. The average American is not reading. They just are eating burgers, drinking beer, cookout, almost zombie level. So if you were to give a test, I don't know if you ever seen when they did it, they used to give the test to pass, immigrants have to pass a test, basically to come into America and get their citizenship. They gave that same test to Americans over and over. They do it every couple of years, and the Americans can't pass the test. An immigrant who is not from this country, who English is their second language, can pass the test, but you can't. And you live here. If that doesn't tell you the quality of who we have, I don't know what to tell you. Again, be careful. Let me keep going. A real Republican. I mean, I'm a libertarian, but I had to get real Republican. Because this is the thing, Sophie, we're in a shift. And people don't understand when we're in a shift, who makes money in a shift? Not the easy spot, the easy throwaway stuff, the delivery drivers, the people doing retail, the people doing stripping, the people doing drug dealing, all that silly stuff, that dries up first. That's why you see all that crime. Now, Academic said something crazy the other day, and he said that a majority of these people that's committing crime out here and being in Atlanta is because they were committing crime in New York or committing crime in Detroit, and they run to Atlanta to blend in because so many Black people. And I believe them to some degree. I believe that's true. But guess what? The way they got these, the way they got this stuff set up, y'all not gonna be running around doing crazy stuff. Strippers here gonna get jobs. There's a lady I've tried to get on the show. Her name is Pole. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can pull her up. And again, Earn Your Leisure does a great job at what they did. That I enjoyed the conversation. I just find it funny that we are now. Here she is. This young lady. I wanted to interview her, but she used to be a stripper. She now is an ethical hacker, SCE engineer, making lots of money. She still does some pole stuff here. She blocked a lot of her stuff that was on her page. You know what I'm saying? Because the previous stuff was a little wild and crazy. When you want to go get the man now, you want to get married and have kids, you reduce all the other stuff. Like, oh, that's my old life. That's my old life. This is my new life. Go look her up. I mean, I'm not even being funny. Like, I wanted to interview her. She's in tech. These strippers is going into tech now. It ain't even a joke. Some of these girls are really smart. Here you go. People don't even realize that if it's a private or parochial school, especially elementary through junior high, they're all pulling out of the same part of the money. This is true. We know that. Listen. I still think we owe Ice Cube an apology. Look, he gave you qualified opportunity zones. He did. No, they didn't want money from the orange man because he bad. I know. A bunch of inflation is what they had for you. Biden ain't gonna do shit for them. That's why I'm laughing as I see it. Laughing. It's ridiculous. The platinum plan. I'm gonna get you Negroes $500 million But because sorry. Thank you, LA James. They knew it. They just didn't want it from who offered. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? We did it, Joe. We did it. Broken bones come from, I mean, I know kids. Listen, y'all, not trying to be funny, make fun of my little brother. My little brother rode a bike in Alaska down a hill. He would not let it go of the handlebars and broke both his arms because the bike was going. It was going to the air and he would not let go. He was a little kid. He didn't know no better. So he had two broken arms walking around like this with the cast on the arms. Them kids you see in the comedy series, that was his real life. You don't have to play football or anything. I've seen kids fall off trampolines and break arms. And we did that in the South all the time. I've seen kids running playing softball break arms. I've seen a dude break his leg off a slip and slide. You ain't got to play football or MMA to break no bones. You can break a bone just cuz. When you see all them people that's knock-kneed, and I ain't making fun of them, but I'm just saying knock-kneed originally came out of one, obesity, and two, your mom not giving you enough vitamins when she was pregnant and as a child growing up. I remember our family friend that's a doctor started saying that, and people started, nah, that ain't true. How y'all gonna tell a damn doctor what's true? You dig what I'm saying? Listen, you already know. Listen, Diamond Dave, I didn't want to say it, but you did, so it's on the screen. I'm gonna leave that there. You know, it's when you have bedfellows. When you have bedfellows, you got to do what you do. Oh my goodness! Oh, good gracious! Luckily, you a nurse. You gonna have to become a traveling nurse for at least 2 years. Pay all that off. Get that big bag. Well, that works for you. That'll work. Look, man, come on, man. Come on. Y'all, look at that. Somebody screenshot that. Somebody give that to Sub Zero. Screenshot that and send it to me at Instagram. I'm telling y'all, change is coming. Congratulations, Anthony Johnson, on your bag. Get your bag. We got LA in the building. LA's best real estate agent. Gonna be in LA soon. Listen, I used to sub and teach in Phoenix. If you don't speak Spanish, you forget about it. Listen, 50% of the children here in Austin, Pflugerville, Hutto, and Round Rock are Latino. So you go in the school system, they should be recruiting from the Latino community for people. Thank you. It's a little bit of lie, it's a little bit of good. So I'm not a huge fan of Dave Ramsey, but the 7-step baby seems like a valuable method of building wealth as any other. What do you say? Again, Andre Ford's. My whole thing is Dave Ramsey's method is for people who need to get control of themselves. They don't have a budget. They don't know how to act. Yada yada yada. It's for them to start a budget, get some self control. It works well for those folks and people who have high income. You making 30K a year and you got 15K in debt. What Dave Ramsey gonna tell you to do? Everybody tell me what Dave Ramsey. He'll tell you get a job. He can tell you eat rice and beans and get a second job, get some kind of part-time job. If your debt is 15K in credit cards and you make 30K a year, Dave Ramsey gonna tell you to get a job, which means what? Make more income. The same thing we've been preaching for years. Come on, man. Yeah. Okay, that's what you said. He's a worse version. Okay, worse version. Susie Orman came out with like a debit card and that thing went left and she had got sued for fraud, all kind of stuff. In California, you can graduate. I believe it. I believe it. Ethical hacker. Big money. Good for her. No money and stripping since BMF got indicted in the early 2K. Listen, I'm telling y'all, there's this fantasy that you're going to be a rapper, a drug dealer, a stripper. And I want that to die. I can't wait for this. Listen, we've already started going towards the suburb nerd culture taking over the black culture because we see all these rappers getting killed. We're like, oh, what's going on over there? But the nerdy black guy, the tech guy, the suburb culture, the Childish Gambitos, the Jordan Peels, the different people we see on TV that fit that criteria, that's taking over. Thank God. Not enough yet, but it is. I remember growing up, people were like, yeah, I'm hood, I'm thug. I'm like, dude, your parents are married. and live on my street. Why are you wearing gang colors? Why are you sacking your pants? You look goofy. Lames trying to be hood. I told somebody the other day, I did not know people had these real, I'm just going to go there, these real soft rollover daddies out there because I'm from a military family, cop family. All the men I know are poof. You ever seen Sylvester Stallone and the black dude in Creed when they were fighting in boxing, Rocky movies back in the day? That's how all the black men I knew looked. Like they could get in a boxing match tomorrow with a mustache. You know what I'm saying? Like when I see these people showing me their dads and look like Mr. Potato Head looking sad, I'm like, what is that? I did not grow up with men looking like that. I don't know where y'all get these men from. So again, that kind of culture, that's gone. It's gone. Exactly. We've moved to an asset-based society. Somebody wrote about this a couple years ago. Who is dominating in the asset society? Asians, Indian Americans. They're again, it's monopoly for real life though. They really come, buy a house, pay off an old cheap car, get a business, keep eating, buy a hotel, live at the hotel, got the whole damn family living at the hotel, help clean the hotel. I mean, it's not even a game, y'all. And we got people out here tomorrow. I just want a good job that pays me 50K a year and I get weekends off. We literally have black people on the internet talking like that in their 40s and 50s. That's not the game. It ain't been the game in America since 1971. I respect strippers, unlike a lot of dudes. They just do what they have to survive. I don't know what that means, but I hear you. Back in the 1990s, a lot of strippers in Orlando were college girls from good Eastern USA. Listen, I actually believe that looking back at some of them videos, them 1990s rock videos. Listen, people don't realize that they be too comfortable in their situation to realize that every 10 to 15 years is a shift. This is facts. Even in marriages and in kids, like every 10 years, you got kids leaving, graduating, leaving your house, all kind of stuff. Stop it. Free lunch program is ending. The food ain't gonna go good no way. You can look up welding industry. You can look all that stuff up. You can literally look this up on this phone. I told about the other day, y'all can train your phone to find booty. You can train your phone to find information. They've been paying welding traveling welders a lot for years. There you go. Almost lost your life, man. You got to be careful. But this is the thing, realm. This is the thing, and I remember someone saying this a couple years ago. 2 jobs are for 2 people. The guy or girl that's going to work the second job, by the time they work that second job, they're going to be at their job thinking, what is a higher paying job I can switch to? That's what most time happened. They go to I know this for my personal self. When I was here in Austin, I was working 3 damn jobs. I was working the apartment management in the daytime. I was working the pizza. I had this little part-time thing on Saturday, Sunday, and people were like, damn, girl, why you working all these jobs? And I was like, I can't think of my next move. And then before you knew it, the painting hit and the YouTube hit. And then also I had some other opportunities. And I was like, oh shit, that was quick. But it was when I was busy that the thought process came, not from sitting at my house crying, like, I need to pay these bills. What can I do? When they start working that second job, they're like, oh, I'm done with this. What can I do that makes more money? What career can I switch to? That's why I'm never mad when people want to go to community college, but I'm like, what got you there? What's the thought process that got you there? Yes, this is true. This is true. College dropout. It's glorified. People don't want to see it as, but it's not like the movies. A lot of my classmates aren't allowed to tell a story, and I'm 24. Listen, Keys by Kiera, she's out there in LA. She's out in California. That whole gang culture thing, like when I was asking somebody about Stockton, and they were like, "Oh my God, the Asians are so violent out there." I'm like, "What?" I started reading articles about Stockton. I was mind blown. I was like, "What? Y'all gang banging, Asian gang banging and shooting drive-bys in Stockton in 2022? What is this, 1994? Did Tupac's California song just come out? What is this? 2022, we got Asian kids doing drive-bys in Stockton? Y'all, come on, man. It's crazy. I remember watching the thing with Andy Buy's houses. They had The guy on there, he was Asian, 33 years old, couldn't get a loan from banks. That's why. He had fraud when he was 16. Years later, 16 years later, it's still following him. Mike Lewis, I'm sorry about you. I'm real sorry about you. Listen, it is what it is. Escorts, all that stuff. Look, Terry Notary, he already know. Getting out there notarizing. Ooh, back in the day, I played soccer and powder puff football. I didn't break one bone. Mama ain't have no insurance. You already know. There, look, Katrina. Look, thank you for saying it. It's out there. I didn't want to say it, but you did. Shifts regularly. You got two people growing and changing every day. Rodriguez, this is true, but $20 ain't gonna make you good. $20 ain't moving you as far as it used to. Okay, I'll put it that way. Yes, girl, Kira, they can train their phone to find booties, find escorts, find marijuana, find where the party at, where the crime at, where the crazy at, but they ain't training to find no job. I just joined a new training for PM today. Kickoff call called it was all ages and races from 20 to 50 years old, leveling up being competent. There you go. There you go. My aunt is a traveling welder, always has wait a minute. My aunt is a traveling welder and always got a money and a mustache. See, I don't see. Easy now. Don't talk about your aunt like that. There you go. Listen, what that is what motivated me in college. Working two jobs in the summer when I paid my engineering internship was when my paid engineering internship was canceled. That's what I'm telling you. The second job should be side business. Yeah. Please don't wait to 50. But that's just it, MR. I think you're gonna have a generation of people who are like, oh shit, I'm 45, 50. I wanted to have kids. I want to be married. Oh, what am I do now? Like they literally, there's articles talking about all these women having babies at 43 to 45. 45. I'm just gonna say that. Pay attention, right? These people are starting over at that age. And men folk are like, yeah, man, I can't wait to have my first kid at 50. Okay, you're gonna work till you die. That's what you're saying, unless you have a plan. Diamond Dave Day moving wow over there. I was like, say what? And I was in an investment group, and the people in the investment group are like, let's see if I pull up Tail Tech. The people in the investment group were just shocked. This person wanted to sell their house because like a gang drive-by had happened. And I felt like they were making comments in the, oh, it's a jungle out there. And they're like, oh no, it's Asians. And everybody in the group had to be very PC after that. Cause see, they was trying to make them jokes like it was Jerome and Julio, but it wasn't Jerome or Julio. It was Mr. Win, Mr. Yang, whoever acting up. But this is Tail Tech again. You can find him at Get Me Into Tech. Again, this is a young dude, 26, done made $1 million, driving around in Lambo. But guess what? From tech. He talks about how he got hired on at one job and they made him sell some of his stocks he had because it was in conflict with the company. Again, I didn't start talking about tech out of nowhere. When I went to Afrotech and a little bit before I went to Afrotech, I said, listen, there's a wave happening. There's a shift happening. And if you're a black person that, have some desire to do tech, this is the time. When everybody's jumping out, go jump in. Because again, I keep telling y'all, I have friends who literally, they took 6 months off work. It wasn't even a problem. Come on back. Yeah, you fine. This girl's been 21, making 150,000. The last time I asked her, she was making 195,000, 150,000 every year since she was 21. She's 35 now. You do the math. She done made $1 million and then some, probably 2 million at this point. And so you're talking that in comparison to a guy or girl whose average income is 30, 40,000. It's not even a conversation. It's not even. I literally have a set of friends. I went to get my eyes done today. My eye doctor at 10 o'clock. I know the guy who owns the place. We're talking about travel and yada, yada, yada. He done built a whole new eye care center. New staff. Like, I mean, again, the model when you're a business owner, as a dentist, an eye doctor, a lot of these skills, plumber, welder, you can get to 250 by yourself. You just can't. You can get to 250 by yourself via a job, via a small office. But the big money is when you start hiring other doctors underneath you, other eye doctors underneath you, other welders underneath you, other HVAC people underneath you. That's when you start making the real money, right? That's when you start making that bang, bang money. Okay. And so he's like, yeah, my mom is Swiss. And so I started going to Switzerland every year to feel connected to my family because it's only him and his brother. His dad died. And he's like, we have cousins in Switzerland. I want to go see them. It's a whole, I don't know if y'all ever been to Switzerland or heard of Switzerland or know how much Switzerland cost. It's not a cheap trip. And it's definitely not cheap when you're taking it 4 or 5 times a year, every quarter, basically. It's not cheap. This dude and a couple of the people from our group, that the one girl works at IBM, another person works at the other place, they go to Yellowstone, Big Sky, Montana. They've gone to Canada to go skiing as a group. They've gone every year, 3, 4, 5 times to go ski trips. Skiing is not cheap. You did what I'm saying? It's not cheap. And so there is a wave and a change where these people don't even acknowledge. Like, I've literally talked in group dinners about people making 30, 40 grand a year. And they look at me like they've never heard that in their life. And they go, well, Ericka, that can't be a professional job. I go, what are you talking about? The average American is making that. And they're like, what? How do they live? One of the biggest complaints about Elon Musk coming here was he was offering 30K, 40K jobs. They're like, Elon, come on, man. Come on, man. That you can't live on that in Austin. And people lined up by the thousands, and people are shocked. They're like, why are they signing up for such low pay? I'm like, it's Elon Musk. They don't care. I just want y'all to understand that. There's a wave coming. And if you're not on the right side of the wave, you're going to feel it. Them strippers that are moving out the way, they know what's up. Them delivery drivers, them people getting out the way. Get where you need to be. Keep back here. There's a large population of those who commit crimes out here. The people who have cases and can't have jobs. Ooh. See, that's the important part here. They don't tell you about the recovery after thug life. They don't tell you about what your life gonna look like when you can't get a job. And keyword, I would say this. I'm gonna be careful on this, but if you an ex felon with HVAC skills, somebody will hire you. The dude that wrote that book, oh my God, what is his name? Whedon. Let me see if I can pull him up. I think it's Josh Whedon. He came out of prison and he worked HVAC sales. Hold on. See if I can pull it up. I might be saying his first name wrong. He had a great story, great book. Let's see if it pulls it up. But long and the story short, I'd be hard pressed to find not the filmmaker. Boo, wrong one. That's not the Whedon I want. Hold on. And if I find out, I'm putting on the community wall later tonight. But basically, it's a dude, last name Whedon or whatever. He was in prison. He looked at himself and said, man, if you keep doing this, you just spent another 5 years in prison. Your kid's going to be 10 when they get out. Do you want to keep doing this? White dude. He walked around and tried to apply for jobs all day long. Nobody, nah, man, can't do it. Can't do it. He came back, I think, 2 or 3 times to this HVAC company. He said, listen, I can work sales. I know I can work the phone. Just give me a chance to like work the phones. Let me blow these phones up, right? So they hired him to do blows everybody out the water. Is like #1 salesman for 3 years in a row. And then starts his own HVAC company and then makes millions of dollars. I want you to understand, like, people that will work sales, people that are going to be welders, construction, roofing, plumbing, rough groundwork, those people are going to be just fine. They may have a criminal record, but somebody will need them. And that's that part. You know, if you start committing crime, your future is in hard work, hard hand work. That's what it's going to be. That's why I had to leave California. Too expensive, more violent. I haven't felt threatened in Detroit yet. Ooh, what part of Detroit you in? Tell me about that. Listen, you know that book. The streets are filled with gold if people simply dare to look. Ooh, MGM, easy on that. 45, absolutely not. You need all your energy for these teens. Listen, all my life I've had to fight. Oh, Lord. This is true. This is true. LA Ramon said Asians on the West Coast ain't nothing but pookies. Stop. Y'all, wow. No, I believe. Listen. B. Williams, I completely believe in Asian gangs. I've done countless videos on Asian gangs on this video. I've done them about Georgia, how they keep breaking up these groups of trafficking rings. I've done it about Fayetteville Fort Bragg, where they caught a bunch of Koreans, and one of the girls' moms that we knew from high school, she done went overseas. She ain't never came back to America. We know what that's about. She's like, I ain't never going to jail. Her daughter always goes visit her overseas, never the other way around. We know what time it is, okay? There's a lot of Asian gangs. There's massage parlors all over America. We've seen the credit card scamming. This is part of why I did the video a couple of weeks ago about, or a month or two ago, about these Asian restaurants with the skimming cards. These gas stations owned by Indians with the skimming cards. Who you think is getting that money? But for somebody to be a caveman, let me be very clear. If you told me there were some Asians doing some skimming at their store, if you told me there's some Asians doing some credit card fraud, doing some financial fraud, I believe you. But for somebody to pick up a gun and drive by somebody's house in 2022 and do a 1994 style shooting up everybody's house in the neighborhood, no, no, no. that's 1994. That's real caveman. That's where you at right now. It reminds me of people who used to sit on the. You ever see the hyphy videos where people sitting on their car out in the middle of a parking lot, just out there parking lot pimping? Like, get out of here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for the donation. 35. What is she doing in tech? She's a wastewater something. Their other friend is a software engineer, but they've been making money. I assure you. We could pull their LinkedIn up, but I don't think they appreciate that. Boom. Yep. I'm in hospital seeing women over 40 having their first baby was quite normal. Seeing that since like 2000. Yeah. I'm the doctor's office I go to. The women in there I'd be like, damn, she got a whole head full of gray. What's going on, sis? But people go gray early. Yeah, there you go. All right. Like, is people on Beyonce's internet out here complaining about homelessness and how the states are trying to fix it when those homeless people have to want change and continue the services? That part. That part. Oh, Mr. MR said this guy told me a couple months ago that his daughter is having reading programs. I told him that he has to help her reading with her, like I did my tutor. And he said that's the teacher. I already know what he said. I already know what he said. It's the teacher's job. The teacher has 30 kids in class. She does not have time to sit there and play with you. She doesn't have time to read to your daughter. That's goofy time. Y'all gonna learn. Switzerland is expensive. Could only stay for 5 days for a wedding when I was little. I'm telling you, he go to Switzerland every quarter for 2 weeks at a time. Living life. They doing real tricking. Good gracious. Zurich is lovely, but ultra expensive. I already know I'll be 45 with the kindergartner. That's why I'm in the gym and stay eating organic meats. Listen, you're going to have all the vitamins too. God bless you. All the vitamins. There, congratulations, Mike. I just noticed there was a wave, and same thing when it comes to real estate, where everybody wants to be real estate agents and they want to be a realtor, and I'm like, you gotta really dive deep. You gotta you want to be an agent, you're gonna have to dive deep. You got to help investors. You gonna have the first time buyer, somebody. You have to dive deep. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really you're gonna have to dive deep. You're gonna have to be the best realtor in that region. 90% of the before the pandemic, it was spread out. I think it was showing that 90% of the money from realtors made by the top 50%. And really, out of that number, Tom Ferry has the numbers. I think I brought it up before. Like the top 1% takes like 60%. It's crazy. Ericka said on Black Wealth Renaissance, if you work a second job to pay off debt and it's not paid off in 24 months, the problem is your spending or the plan. Either way is you. Man, I'm about to go back and clip that video. I'm about to go back and get that and clip it. That's what I'm saying. Thank you. You will always find work. There you go. I'm an ex-felon with a 5-man construction. Congratulations. There you go. Children are beautiful, but an investment. Whew, just Jesus. We heading into that lane. We already know. Sales is really key. Detroit's wonderful. Wonderful. Just a beautiful place. Look, somebody said you must live downtown Detroit. There's Asian gangs everywhere. In Houston, all over the place. All over the place. People don't see them on the news. That's all. This is true. This is true. I mean, at the end of the day, if you GS 15, 14, used to be former military, you should be at least 20% of your money should be going to investment every year. So if you make 150 a year, what is that? 30,000 off rip? 30,000 alone is enough for you to buy a rental every year for the next 10 years. Come on, man. Like stop it. Like 20% off rip. You know what I'm saying? 20% off rip. You should be having to put in some type of investment, even if it's just REITs on the stock market. That's my whole point. When you start getting to 150 a year and people talk, I'm struggling, my bills, the insurance. Nah, there's a spending problem there. Because the average American makes 30K. So let's say you making 150, your wife is making 70, and y'all struggling. That's a y'all problem. I literally have a group of I have friends here in Austin who were like, oh, it's so expensive. And I'm like, wait a minute. She makes 60 and you make almost 200K a year. What are you talking about? You have a house. You have 2 paid off cars. What are you talking about? Unless y'all have some crack addiction y'all not sharing with us at this lunch table, what are you talking about? Even if you eat at fancy restaurants once a week, every week, what are you talking about? 200 and some thousand, y'all can't make it? Y'all house is not even that expensive. What are you talking about? That's what I'm saying. The math don't make no sense. T Kane, listen, they've been telling me Philly been hot. I don't understand. It's like, we going backwards? Are we going back up to the 80s after that? Are we going back to crack? What we doing after that? Oh my God. Somebody said pasta dinner was $40. I'm just telling you. You know what? B. Williams, it's on the side of people who are spending the money. They're saying, the economy's down. Strippers always know when the economy's down. Even the ones by Wall Street, they know when the economy's down. But yeah, that's part of it too. Say it one more time for the people back. You got to dig deep. You're gonna have to deep dive. You do. You're gonna have to take care of yourself forever, ever. Listen. I saw Detroit for 4 years. I saw plenty. They're listed for sale as we speak. That is true, Kier. That is true. Unless you have crack with champagne, they shouldn't have. I'm telling you, the second you get a new job, you get a Benz with a 600 car payment. This is true. I've seen people do this, and I'm like, y'all, how? Stop. Cut it out. I just don't understand. But listen, that's mostly what I have for y'all today. I really wasn't trying to be on here forever. My goal was to just talk to y'all about debt free does not equal wealth. You're gonna need to find a way to have recurring income. And I don't know what that is for you. I don't know if that's tech. I don't know if that's a higher paying job. I don't know if that means y'all need to move to the country. I don't know what that means for you, but you need to figure it out in the next 2 years. We're literally, somebody said it the other day and I thought about it. He's like, there's going to be a time when you can't buy a house. Not because you don't want to, but you're just not even in the sphere of people who can buy a house or qualify. There's been people since 2011 saying housing market's gonna crash. It's gonna crash. Have y'all seen houses go back to 150? Have y'all seen houses go back to $90,000? You're not gonna see it. These foreigners are buying up houses left and right on top of BlackRock buying them. So you sitting here going, I can't wait for these houses to get back to 100K. It's gonna be great. You don't even have 100K to buy the house. So what you talking about? Cash buyers gonna beat you to that too. So we got to figure something out here because being debt free is not the answer. That's an old school, I'm gonna be debt free and everything's gonna work out answer. That doesn't work anymore. So yeah, Peter Schiff been talking about a crash for 10 years now. 10 years now. 10 years. And if you listen to some people here on the internet, well, I'm gonna wait till this happens. You gonna have to be investing along the way. Go read the Keller Williams book Shift. Go read that. Also go read Upside. It's another book talking about how, just populations, right? Even if all these boomers, I hate to say this so negatively, even if all these older people pass away and you got all these houses on the market. Oh man, look at all these houses. They need like 30, 40,000 in work anyway. You don't have $30,000-$40,000 in work to put a new roof on, new AC, new parts inside, all this new stuff. You ain't got the money. Again, we keep getting back to the problem. It's money. A lot of people trying to coast, and that coasting thing don't work after 35. Being a cute man that's 6 foot tall, you look good, but your credit bad, you got baby mamas everywhere, you live with your mama's house. That shit ain't cute after 35, brother. They like, damn, bum Uncle Larry. Even women, I've noticed it with women. It could be a fine ass woman, but she start having more than one kid, or she start getting a little older than 32, 30, they be like, oh shit, she trouble. That cute stuff, that pretty privilege, that runs out too. You can be fine as hell, but you 35 with a bunch of damn debt and a kid, that man like, oh, damn, sister. I know y'all, I know y'all think I'm tripping tonight, but I just want to tell you, like, just being debt free ain't gonna be the answer. You got to figure out an answer, and that ain't gonna be it. Kira said after 28. Listen, I will give Kevin Samuels credit. Like when you start meeting some of these people, I'm a free spirit. I'm like, girl, you better free spirit your way to a damn job. You better free spirit your way to some money in your pocket. Because I don't know if you seen these older men out here. You dig what? Yeah, I don't think you the money you looking for ain't out here. Okay, just gonna say that. Danger zone. What was his numbers for danger zone, y'all? Because most people get married 28 to 32 now in our society. A big number from 28 to 32. Hear them start wrapping it up. Cause that product going down, that body going down, them ankles is hurting. That's right. Coasting was pre-pandemic, okay? that I'm gonna live in an $800 apartment that's pre-pandemic. Listen, this said these old men keep going after these girls in the early 20s and younger. These are the men who have burned bridges and have nothing. They stay lying to these girls and they're cattle. I see y'all be starting it. It won't be me, it was y'all. Ericka, you be tripping every night. I'm not. I'm just telling you. It's a little questionable after 25. I'm just telling y'all. I'm just saying. Listen, I can attest to the lack of decent older men. Thank you for telling us. Oh, my trainer was somewhere, and I was like, we know people that have wives that look taken care of. We could tell the difference. Some of these men out here looking dry. L Dub said spirituality. That's right. I'm not joking, y'all. There's a lot of people saying, I'm a free spirit. I'm a free spirit. I'm like, girl, you in your 30s now. That free spirit shit, like, you gonna go live in a van? You even saw the black girl that lived in the van out of Houston. As soon as she got a boyfriend, she jumped up out that van and living with him now. Y'all, that free spirit stuff is stuff people is selling you a dream. That you're gonna be some kind of hippie at 30 and 45 years old. No, man. You can't find a closet to rent for 800. Just I'm just telling y'all, man. It's the knees for me. Okay, come on, man. People gonna be hopping in out these vans, living in vans in their 30s and 40s. Please, please. Y'all, you have older millennial women being BFF with Gen Z girls. The millennials have a bad reputation, and now I was realizing they are old and going after youth. I mean, I've seen people listen. I'm just listen. I've this is something I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna finish the show. If you see somebody in their late 30s to 40s, almost 50s, talking about they always got an 18 to 21-year-old girlfriend, boyfriend, they had to search for that person. Those people don't even exist in the same space. Nah, Ericka, I met her at the gym. Possible, but 90% of the time, y'all don't even exist in the same space. You almost have to be searching for that person hard, hard, okay, to get even in that space. So when I see somebody who's an older woman with a younger girlfriend, I'm like, okay, is it mentorship? Did they just meet at a conference? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. If they met at the nightclub at Boom Boom Room, yeah, that's a no for me, dog. That's a no for me. So, that just is what it is. God wants you to have some money. I don't know why people use that. You know what I'm saying? People love using. Don't blame Jesus that you broke. Don't do that. Let me see here. Y'all so wild. Smart mom, it's yes and no. Sylvester Stallone is 76 years old, divorcing his 54-year-old wife. I don't know what he think he about to get out here at 76 years old, but he gonna try. Wait, Mr. Money Mustache wife left him? No, what happened? He was being too damn cheap. Oh no, you're lying. Tell me that's a lie. Oh, why? He left her. She left him. What happened? Oh, see, when I see men jogging and showing you the workout videos, the wife left. Yeah, the wife is gone. They start showing you stuff like that. Oh, they was cheap together. What happened? So cheap together. Okay, well, I'm gonna look up that now. I gotta be nosy on that. I don't know when I get off here. So let me see. Money answers all things. Keys by Kiera. I have met lots of nice older men at conferences. You have, girl. Yeah. Because you a good looking lady. Listen, y'all, Keys by Kiera was in the elevator with me, and I thought she was Brazilian because we had all these Brazilian doctors and what do you call dentist and Mexican dentist. So I just didn't even speak to her. I was just standing in the elevator like, bloop, 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 look at that Brazilian girl. And she starts walking where I walked. I was like, oh, you're black, like American black. Okay, what's up, great girl? So anyway, all right, you guys, I gotta go. Listen, you guys, the Panama trip tickets are open. There's already been, like, I think 10 or 12 of you already got your tickets. Thank you so much. I'm going to check the numbers, check the data. We'll also send the code out for the hotel room discount. It's $149 a night with the hotel discount. Make sure you use that discount code by the 16th, September 16th. Again, we're going to be in Panama. We're going to be looking at properties. We're going to be living our best lives. We're going to be on the rooftop eating that good steak. And you're going to see opportunities to invest in Airbnbs. A few more Airbnb choices from last time. Last time we got a good mix. This time we're going to do more Airbnbs, cheaper models, cheaper levels. It's going to be lit. I'm not going to just be telling you about internet and you're traveling overseas and going to Panama. We're actually doing it. So hopefully you'll join us for that trip. Again, that trip is October 13th through 15th. The tickets are out now. Grab your tickets. We only have 45 slots. I know how most people wait. They're going to wait to the last minute. Don't do that. Don't do that. You got about 50 days. 50 days until that trip. I think we're at 52 days until October 13th. Don't do that. Do not wait to the last minute. I promise you. Link to the credit class. We'll also put it in the description and also in the first pinned comment. So thank you guys. This is your girl Ericka, Classy Clown Blog. Thank you for being here. Again, on Friday is our last live day. Friday is our last live day. I look forward to being here with you guys. I look forward to seeing y'all back in December when it's over. So, all right, you guys, this is your girl Ericka, Classy Clown Blog. Later.